All right, now welcome back as we start the second segment of red flags in a relationship. So, like Mark, in the dating scene, like what are some of the red flags that you have seen that has really just turned you off about that potential person that you thought would have been a great mate, but it was just too many red flags that just caused you to say like she wouldn't be a good fit or add value to what you was already building or growing.
Right. And I think you hit an important part, like, is adding value to your life, right? The idea, right? And I think this idea probably is in everyone's mind, right? Is that when you connect with someone, the idea is basically to build a power couple, right? Like
Absolutely.
to basic both you guys, be dominant in whatever passions you guys are into,
Right.
right? Whether it be horseback, whatever it is, right? Whatever
Right.
passion like you guys share, right? The
Right.
idea is to become a powerhouse together, right, and grow together, right? And I think that it's kind of hard to find that now, right? Because a good example is the dating apps, right? Like you see a bunch of red flags, especially like with basically like fake accounts, right? Things like that, potentially like trying to get into your wallet, that's, big red flag. I mean, and you can kind of most of the time look at these accounts, right? And just know, right? You can know if that person's legit or not. But sometimes they're borderline, right? You don't know if they are fake or if they're real or if they're really actually going to meet up with you or then if they're going to rob you or whatever, right?
Right.
There's lots of things that can come with that, right? So, and then tapping into a little bit of my own experience, right? So I basically was with someone that was in the adult industry for, I don't know, I was with them for like 7 years. And, you know, when I say the adult industry, like they were doing online streaming and they were doing it from home. So it's not
Mhm.
like they were like, nobody was touching them, right?
Right.
So
Right.
they were doing videos and things like that, right? So could that be a red flag for some people? I mean, it could be for some people. Like for me, I was okay with it. I'm pretty chill about that stuff. So, but could it lead to problems later, right? And that's the kind of the bigger question. You just don't know that kind of
Correct.
stuff,
Correct.
right?
Right.
So that's kind of been my experience on like finding red flags, and I mean, obviously, there's a lot more than that out there. I mean, it just kind of depends on you look at the individual and like trying to see what they want,
Hmm.
right? Like you said in the previous video, like what's the gain that they're trying to get from you,
Right.
right? So,
And you're always wondering that because again,
hmm
in online dating, when you start talking about apps, it's really a virtual meat market at the end of the day. Because okay, if you look at a lot of the women that's on there, it's like realistically, how many of them are really looking for a life partner to grow with and build something special with, versus how many are just trying to find that person who can provide them that short term satisfaction of taking them out to eat, allowing
hmm
them to ride in a nice car.
right,
Like you really have to try to figure out what it is that these individuals are looking for and searching for, because even though they put a profile and they might put verbiage on there about what they're looking for, a lot of times when you meet the person, you see that
that ain't legit.
it's not legit. It doesn't
Right,
match.
right,
So it's like if you're really looking to settle down and find the one that's special for you, and that doesn't align, it's like you feel like you're wasting your time, because if you work hard, you really don't have time to go to clubs. You really
that's
don't have
right.
time to go to bars. So it's like, how do you really truly meet somebody that's going to fulfill your needs,
Right.
fulfill your desires,
hmm
and you feel like when you're going on an app that individual potentially can do that, because from the beginning you're looking at the face, you're looking at the body, and
hmm
that really becomes the prelude of what you're looking for.
That's
And
right.
then you meet the person and talk to them and you see, oh my god, they're shallow or they're simple or they're
Right.
oblivious to reality. And it's like you're wasting your time, because a lot of these people are out of touch
Right.
with reality. So trying to figure out how you can factor or ingratiate them into your day-to-day schedule, like, it can be complicated, because one false move can really
hmm
sink your battleship, everything that you're working for. Think about it. Someone that's not aligned trying to come in and do and be a part of what you got going on,
Right.
if they don't put forth that positive energy, and if they just have a hidden agenda of coming in and exploiting and extorting through your resources and not adding value to that,
Right.
then over time, that's mentally, financially, emotionally, it's going to break you. I don't care how great
hmm
the physical turns out to be.
Right.
But if that person doesn't bring other intangibles to help you build on and grow, I'm telling you, from a mental perspective, it's going to disrupt what you've
What,
built
yeah, and
and
what you're trying to accomplish,
and
right?
what you're trying to accomplish short term and
Right.
long term. So I think in today's time, we can sit here all day and talk about all the different red flags in dating,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to start turning those red flags into green flags.
Right. Right. It's like maneuvering the system, right? Like,
Right.
and I'm trying to think, even before there was a lot of online dating, right? Like, I mean, the methods were just completely different, right? And I do feel like there's if if someone like we talked about this in the last video, but if somebody is not getting what they want, it's so easy for them to just put themselves out there and really get like 100 people just message them, right? Like,
Absolutely.
it's so easy for that to happen now, right? It's just a new method for doing that to get attention, right? Essentially,
Right.
it's like an attention, right?
Right.
It gives them, I mean, attention kind of. I mean, I understand like the reasons of why, like the internal, like how it can make somebody feel the attention, right? It makes you feel good, like in that moment, right? But the long term portion of it just isn't there, right? So, but yeah, like the whole red flag thing is just kind of understanding what the individual's intentions are. Are they going to make you better? Are they going to push you to become better? And if you're down, are they going to hold the ship up for you, right? And I think that's what it comes down to, right? Like when you're close with somebody, right, and one of you guys is down for what illness, whatever it may be, right, is your partner going to be there through that to hold the ship afloat,
Right.
and do the extra that needs to be done so that way you guys can become the powerhouse again.
Right.
So
And unfortunately, in most cases, people are jumping off the ships every day.
too quickly. Yeah.
Like
People give up too quick.
they give up too quick. They don't see the value in fighting for what they call perceived. I'm in love. You're my soulmate. You provide everything I need in the sense. It's like in today's time, you can do so much for a person, but there are still things that create a sense of resentment and create a sense of codependency on someone else because there's a void that the partner is not providing. And that's why people aren't really forthcoming and transparent. And when you are forthcoming and transparent, and you feel like the person is not paying attention to you
Hmm.
or providing you what you need in the sense of security within that relationship, then it's like you just feel the need to go out and pursue someone else that will.
Right. Right.
Because when you give so much and you pour so much, and then in return you get very little, after a while you do start feeling rejected. You do start feeling neglected. You do start feeling as if your partner doesn't care or doesn't want to fulfill
Hmm.
your needs and desires. And you can have those conversations, but at the end of the day, if you're having conversations and no adjustments are being made and
Hmm.
nothing's changing, it's like it's only a matter of time before you start to explore other options.
Right. Right. Because I mean, it'll break you internally, right?
Oh yeah,
Like if you don't have that of what you're getting out of it, then you're going to like go searching for something else,
absolutely,
right? So, I mean,
absolutely.
I can't say that's a red flag, right? I think that's just it comes down to like a lack of communication in some way, right? Or you're communicating, or the person just isn't hearing what you're saying,
Right,
right?
right.
So, um, but yeah, definitely, we should do definitely something on just communication too, like
Yes,
open
absolutely,
communication on
absolutely.
why, right?
And
I
don't
think I
worry
over
about.
communicate, by the way.
I
I
said
feel like
that.
I always do that.
I say that all the time too. I over communicate.
Yeah.
So when you over communicate, and either a person is not comprehending what you're saying, or b they don't understand the clarity of what you're saying, or c clearly they don't give a fuck.
Right.
Pardon my language.
Right.
I hope we're not being regulated by FCC and FTC. But at the end of the day, it's like when you talk so much, you feel like the words fall on deaf ears. It's like why are we even doing this?
Right. Right.
I would rather you be honest and say I'm not interested, or I've fallen out of love, or we're just not compatible,
Right.
and that way both parties can go their separate ways
Right.
and start anew.
Right.
So I think with the red flags, once you identify those, like it should be simple to sit down and say, look, either we're going to fix things,
Right.
or we're going to find someone that's more compatible to who we are in current day.
Right. That's right. All right. Well, definitely. Do we want to end it there, or do you want to?
Yeah, we can end this segment here
Yeah.
and then prepare for the next one.
Okay.
So, because we want to give our audience a lot of content where they can actually hear it and,
Yeah.
and digest it,
Mm-hmm.
and then look at their current situation and see how we can
How to
put them
apply it.
in a better situation where they can apply what we're
Mhm.
what we're giving them. So
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you, everyone.